so number 1 is talking about Nathan has 6 engines and 28 boxcars. It says find the ratio. Whenever you see ratio, you need to remember that order does matter here. So when it says the ratio of engines to boxcars, that's telling you what order to put your answer in. Write the ratio as a fraction in simplest form and explain its meaning. So since engine is first, I'm going to put engines on top. There were 6. And then it says boxcars, so then I'm going to put 28. All right, I'm going to go ahead and warn you, on the 9 weeks test, you really need to look at the order that it's asking you, okay? So then from here it says to put it in simplest form, so I can divide these both by 2, which gives me 3 over 14. Okay. So that's the way we would write our fraction. On the 9 weeks test, it's multiple choice. The options, it doesn't give you a fraction in your options. It's going to write your answer out like so. Which one of these would be the best answer choice if I was looking at my 9 weeks test? The first one or the second one? Julia? The first one. Why would I not want to choose the second one? Yeah, because it has boxcars and then engines, and it does say engines and boxcars. Again, on the 9 weeks test, I've actually made enough copies where you'll be able to write on your test. So on your test, I would even underline where it says ratio, what order to do that in, so that you can make sure to pay special attention to that, okay? Because I am warning you, I know there is at least one where it does flip-flop it, so be very careful about that, okay? All right, and then we're going to explain that. So again, 3 was talking about engines. So 3 engines. Since they're completely different things, I'm going to say for every 14 boxcars. All right. Number 2. At a potluck, there were 5 pecan pies, 8 lemon pies, 12 cherry pies, and 8 apple pies. Find the ratio of apple pies to total number of pies. Write the ratio as a fraction in simplest form and explain its meaning. So again, where it says ratio, I'm looking at apple pies on top, total pies on the bottom. So how many apple pies were there? 8. When it says total pies, what does that mean I need to do? Julia? I'm going to add them all together. Martina, what do I get when I add up my pies? 33. 33 pies. Does that include my apple pies?
Yes.
Yes, apple pie is a pie, so make sure we add that up. All right, simplify it. Is it simplified?
Yes.
Yes. So again, on the test, you might see 33 to 8. You could see 8 to 33. Which one of those would be my best option? Leah? The 8 to 33. We want to make sure that it keeps the apple pies in front. Okay? We're going to explain its meaning. So 8 is talking about 8 apple pies. These are the apple pies are in these 33 pies, correct?
Yeah.
So instead of saying for every, I'm going to say out of 33. 33 is talking about what? The pies, and I'm just going to put pies here, because if I did simplify it, would it be the total anymore? No, so I'm just going to use pies, so 33 pies. We don't want to necessarily put the word total in there. Okay? Are there any questions about that one? All right. Number 3, a school has 1,250 students and 50 teachers. How many students are there per teacher? Well, for one, what does the word per mean? Leah? That it's a unit rate. So per means I want 1. And look, P-R-O-N-E. Do y'all see that relationship? They're both 3 letters. That's kind of a good way to remember it. All right, if it's saying per teacher, where are your teachers going to need to be? Julia? On the bottom. Since this is what it's talking about, that goes on the bottom. So I'm going to put my students, 1,250 on top, and 50 teachers on the bottom. Okay, if I'm wanting to get 1 teacher, what am I going to be dividing by here? Finley? 50. Okay, so what is that going to give me for my students? Sheldon? 25 over 1. Okay, and that means 25 students per teacher. 25 students per teacher. Okay, let's see if I can get that to stop. Let's see, maybe that'll help. All right. Number 4, a train travels 940 miles in 4 hours. At this rate, how far does the train travel per hour? Per means 1, and hour is going to be on the bottom. All right, so my 940 will be on top, and my 4 hours will be on the bottom. What am I going to divide by here, Owen? 4. Because I'm wanting to get the 1 there. So that gives me 235 over 1. Yes.
Are you going to be sending out the answers tonight?
I'm going to be sending out this video. Okay. All right. So I end up with 235. What's that talking about? The miles per hour, because it's just the 1 hour. Okay. Perfect. Number 5. So guys, this actually, most of these questions came from your test on rates and ratios, okay? And number 5 was one that we had the most trouble with, okay? Rolls are being prepared to go to the grocery store. We want to divide 72 rolls into 2 groups. So I'm going to take 72 and I'm going to split it into 2 groups. Are you okay with how I'm kind of splitting that? I want the ratio to be 3 to 5. So how many are going in the first group? 3. How many are going in the second group? 5. So right now, how many have I put into groups? 8. And then I'm going to put 3 and 5 again. So that's 8 more. So do y'all agree every time I put 3 and 5, I'm adding 8? So guys, how many times would I need to add 8 to get to 72? Maddie? 9, because 9 times 8 is 72. So that means I'm going to do 3 and 5. And I'm just going to do it 9 times. That's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Okay. 3 and 5, that gives me 8. 3 and 5, 16. 3 and 5, 24. 3 and 5, 32. 3 and 5, 40. 3 and 5, 48. 3 and 5, 56. 3 and 5, 64, and then 3 and 5, 72. And you can add that in your calculator, or you can use that trick where we said, okay, 8 times 9 is 72, so we did it 9 times. Yes?
For the test, do we have to do maybe do 27 to 45, because that's the ratio?
Yeah, we're fixing to get there. So far, guys, this is just our work. We have not found the answer. Because right now, I just have a bunch of 3s. So how many would be in this first group? If I add up all my 3s, how many would be in my first group? Jennifer?
27.
So 27 in one group. And how many would be in my second group? Anyone with a new answer that has an answer? Bailey? 45. And 45 in the other group. Yes. Martina.
Do we have to put in the other group?
I'm fine that if you just put 27 and 45, I'm fine with that. What I do not want is please do not write that in a fraction. Because I'm not writing it in a fraction because I want to know how many are going over here and how many are going over there. So I don't want them in one number kind of setup. Liam? 27 rolls and 45 rolls would have been a much better way to write that. Yes, Liam. It would have been much shorter. That's great choice of wording. So 27 in one group, 45 in the other group. Do you see why I don't want to put that in a fraction? Because it's 2 separate things here. All right. All right, number 6 that I hole punch through. A recipe for 1 apple pie calls for 6 cups of sliced apples. How many cups of sliced apples are needed to make 4 apple pies? Is my ratio my answer here? No, it's wanting me to do something with it, right? Guys, if your ratio is your answer, you don't have to label it. I'm fine with that. But since I'm going to have to find a separate amount, I'm going to label this. So I'm going to say 1 pi over 6 what? 6 cups of apples. Are you okay with that? And it says we want to make 4 apple pies. So which number am I changing, the top or the bottom? Owen?
Oh, I was just going to say, if we can do, like, on the test, if there's any of them we can do in our head or we want to do it in our head.
So remember, on the test, I'm grading your Scantron. Okay? On your classwork, on your reviews, I'm looking for your work. You see the difference there? Mm-hmm. All right. So guys, which number am I changing here? My top number or my bottom number? Am I changing the amount of pies or am I changing, well, I'm changing both of them. But when it tells me 4 apple pies, what does the 4 go with? Bailey? The 1. So I know that the top number needs to be 4. Do I know what the bottom is? No, guys, that's my answer. That's what we're looking for. So guys, what would I do to change 1 to 4? Julia? Times 4. And if I do it on the top? We're going to do it on the bottom. Times 4. So 6 times 4 is 24. And this is talking about cups of, and I'll add on here, sliced apples, since this is going to be my actual answer that I circle. So I need 24 cups of sliced apples. Okay. All right, are there any questions about number 6? Sheldon?
So I got the answer, but then I wrote 24 cups of sliced apple, and you didn't make 4.
So you gave me a much better sentence. Perfect. Okay. If you gave me a more detailed sentence, guys, that is better. This is the minimum. So Sheldon said he wrote 24 cups of sliced apples are needed to make 4 apple pies. Perfect sentence. Okay. Let's look at number 7. Justin bought 40 packs of baseball cards for a discounted price of $64. If he sells 10 packs of baseball cards to a friend at cost, how much should he charge? So that means he's not going to charge his friend more money than what he paid for them. So we need to know how much did he pay for 10 packs, all right? So let's set up our ratio that it gives me. So I have 40 packs. And how much did he pay for 40? $64. We want to know how much he paid for 10 of them, correct? So I want 40 to change to 10. So I want my top number to be 10, and we need to figure out what the bottom is, what the bottom amount is. What can I do to change 40 to 10? Lane?
Divide by 4.
We can divide this by 4. And if I do it to the top, that's what we're doing to get our answer. So 64 divided by 4. What's that going to give me? Lane? 16. So I end up with $16 for 10 packs of baseball cards. Writing out a full sentence for Sheldon. Perfect job. Okay. Does your sentence have to match mine exactly? No. Do you need to have $16 in there? Yes, $16 is our answer. So we definitely want to make sure that that is part of your sentence. Okay. An ostrich can run at a rate of 50 miles in 60 minutes. So again, there's my ratio. So I'm going to go ahead and write that down. So 50 miles in 60 minutes.
Teachers and students, pardon this interruption. Girls,
at this rate, how long would it
today,
take an ostrich to run 15 miles?
Has been canceled today. Also, whoever has borrowed Chrome.
Which number is it that I'm trying to change to 15? The top or the bottom?
ASAP.
Finley?
That's Chrome card 6. Needs to be
Which number am I trying to change to 15? My top number or my bottom number? Yeah, so it says 15 miles, which means my top number needs to be 15. Now, this one's going to be a little bit trickier, because can I go from 50 to 15 easily? No. So what am I going to do? Liam? Okay, so I like that idea. Liam said I can divide by 10, which would give me 5. And then I can multiply by 3 to get 15. I like that idea. That's probably the route I would go if I'm familiar with number patterns. Okay? Owen, what's another idea? I could make 51. So if you're not so good with those multiplication facts, remember we talked about you can always get a 1. And then once I have a 1, what could I do? Multiply by 15. Do you see? It's the same number of steps, isn't it? Liam just said, well, he divided by 5 because he can do that in his head to get 10. I'm sorry. He divided by 10 to get 5 because then 5 times 3 gives me 15. Again, obviously, I don't need to make that choice because I'm trying to divide by the wrong number. So I'm going to divide by 50 and get 1. What's 60 divided by 50 going to give me? Does anyone have that answer? Kaya? 18?
It's 1.2.
1 point.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the answer.
Oh, the answer. Okay, 1.2 sounds better. Okay, so I get 1.2 there. Am I done yet? No, because now I'm also going to do the times 15 that we did on the top. And 1.2 times 15, Kaya, 18. All right, so I find out that it takes 18. 18's talking about my minutes. And we could add on there for an ostrich to run 15 miles. But your sentence has to have 18 minutes in it. Okay. Questions about number 9? Number 8. Okay, let's do number 9. Number 9, Eli is making guacamole. He uses 2 tablespoons of cilantro for every 3 avocados. At this rate, how many tablespoons of cilantro will he need for 9 avocados? So again, I'm going to set that up. So I have 2 tablespoons. The abbreviation for tablespoon is TBS over 3 avocados. Avocados. Good thing that it's typed and there was spell check when I typed it. All right, avocados. Okay, I want to change it to 9 avocados. So am I changing my top number or am I changing my bottom number right now? Where is that going to go? Julia's like on a roll today. Julia?
The top number.
Careful, it's avocados. Where did I put my avocados?
Oh, okay. So you got to multiply the 3 avocados times 3.
Yes, we do need to do that, but you're skipping to the work. Jennifer, where am I going to put the 9? On the bottom. So you're correct. That's how we're going to work it. Absolutely. I just needed to know where the 9 was going right now, okay? So 9's going to go on the bottom. How am I changing 3 to 9, Bailey?
Multiply it by 3.
Yeah, times 3. That's an easy one just to go directly there. And if I do it on the bottom, go to the top. So 2 times 3 is 6. So I need 6 tablespoons of cilantro. Cannot have some guacamole without cilantro. Alright, let's look at number 10. Got 2 more to go, and we got about 10 minutes. Ellie must mix 6 tablespoons of plant food for every 2 gallons of water. If she has 6 gallons of water, how much plant food should she use? So let's set up our 6 tablespoons of plant food and 2 gallons of water. She has 6 gallons. So which number am I changing right now? The top or the bottom? Sheldon? The bottom. And we want to make that 6. How can I go from 2 to 6 easily? Joanna? Yeah, I can just do times 3. And if I do it to the bottom, it's top. So I end up with 18 tablespoons of plant food. Okay. Questions about that? All right, anyone need more time writing that out? Okay. On her pogo stick, when we finish this, guys, we do have some more we're going to flip over and write on the back, okay? So you should still have your workout. On her pogo stick, Lula made 24 hops in 30 seconds. So I'm going to go ahead and write 24 hops over 30 seconds. How many hops will she make in 50? So where does 50 need to go, on the top or on the bottom, Nora? On the bottom, because that's where my seconds are going. Can I go from 30 to 50 easily? No. Thoughts? What can I do, Bailey?
Divide 30 by 30 and then multiply by 50.
Yeah, divide by 30, which gives me 1, and then do times 50 to get my answer. All right, did anyone do it a different way? Leah?
I divided by 3 and then multiplied by
5. So she divided by 3 to get 10, and then did times 5 to get 50. Either way is fine. Sheldon, what'd you do?
I divided by 15 and multiplied by 25.
So you divided by 15 to get 2, and then multiplied
By 25.
by 25 to get 50. Perfect. Either one of those are good. I'm going to go ahead and do it this way because, again, y'all know I told you, I'm not good with my math. Sometimes I mess up and make silly mistakes. I'm just going to get 1 and then multiply. So 24 divided by 30. What does that give me? Does anyone have that answer for me, Owen? 1.25. So when we divide by 30, we get 1.25, and then times 50. That's not right, Owen. That's not going to be right, because 24 divided by 30, I should just get a decimal. So I think you might have typed it in backwards. Nora? 0.8. Does that sound better? Okay. So I get 0.8, and then 0.8 times 50, what's that going to give me, Annalise? 40. So she gets 40 hops in 50 seconds. Okay. I think, Owen, that mistake that you made, I think that was one of the common ones. This is one of the problems that, out of the word problems, number 11 was missed the most, and number 8 was missed the most, because those you had to get 1 on before you could keep going. All right? You will see some like this on the test with these word problems. All right. If you will flip your paper over. Flip your paper over. I want us to kind of we're going to make a little chart here. All right? Okay, we're going to make a big chart here. I haven't decided yet. All right, and you need 3 columns in your chart. Okay, my chart is not very pretty, but it's okay. Okay, down at the bottom it gets really crazy looking, so.
Should I take up the whole page?
Half of the page at least. Half of the page at least. All right, in the chart we're going to have fractions, decimals, and percents. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a number in a column, and you're going to have to fill in the other ones. So, for example, if I put in 3/4, you need to tell me what the decimal is and what the percent is. Thank you. Okay, so we're going to start with those 3. So for the first one, you need to write the decimal and the percent. For the percent, you need to write the decimal and the fraction. And then here I have the decimal. I'm going to write the percent and the fraction. You're filling in the other columns for those numbers. You can go ahead and fill it in. No. I'm going to show the work that I'm doing on here. You might want to show it if you know you had trouble on this fraction, decimal, percent test. But for right now, I'm just going to, if you want to just fill it in on your paper, you can. All right. So guys, how do I go from a fraction to a decimal? Bailey? By?
I put the fraction into the calculator and then press
Okay, so you use the calculator button to help you out. Okay, that's fine. But what is that actually doing? Julia?
You have to put the denominator on the outside and
So we are, we're dividing. So she's setting up that division. Okay, so guys, to go from a fraction to a decimal, I'm dividing. Okay, so 3 divided by 4, what does that give me? Julia? 0.75. I'm deciding how I'm going to teach it next year too. So this is my new process. Okay? So now I need to go from a decimal to a percent. How many places do I move my decimal over? Barrett? 2 times. So guys, if I'm going from a decimal to a percent, it goes alphabetically. I'm going towards the percent and I'm going twice. Like in an alphabet, D, and I'm heading towards P, so I'm going forwards. Are y'all okay with that? So when I move my decimal over 2 times, what's that going to give me for my percent? Julia? 75%. I think next year I'm going to try teaching this with a chart. So I wanted to I'm trying it out with y'all, and y'all can tell me if this is better. Okay. So I want to go from a percent, I want to make it a decimal, and I want to make it a fraction. Which one is going to be the easiest to go to? Barrett? A decimal. Now guys, again, if I'm going from P to D, I'm going backwards. Y'all agree? So I'm going from my percent to my decimal, so I'm still moving over twice, but I'm going to go backwards. So when I move this decimal place over 2 times, what is that going to give me? Sheldon? 0.013. Y'all see how that chart kind of helped me fill that in? Miss Sawyer, why didn't you show us this chart? Because I literally y'all, I have weird dreams about math and how I'm going to teach better. It's weird. But I do. Like, I'll wake up in the middle of the night, like, thinking about math. My husband gets so mad at me because I'll, like, wake him up sometimes if I think it's a really good idea. And I'll be like, oh, my goodness, guess what I just thought of? And he's like, what is wrong with you? I don't know. I don't have a good excuse. Okay. So now I'm going to make this a fraction. Now, this can be a little challenging. How am I going to make it a fraction? Kaya?
So I put it in the calculator, I put 0.56.
Mm-hmm.
And then I press second, and then where it says PRD, up top it says, I think it's fraction.
Yeah, so you're using that fraction to decimal button on your calculator, which I am fine with. But how would I do it if I didn't have a calculator? Martina?
You would put 13 over 1,000 because that's how many numbers are behind the decimal place.
3 numbers behind the decimal, so I have 3 zeros for 1,000. All right. 13 over 1,000. Can that simplify?
No.
13 and 1,000. Can 2 go into it?
No.
Can 5 go into it?
No.
No. So because it's that 1,000 number, that's really it. If 2 won't work and 5 won't work, you're done. Okay, questions about that? Okay, last one. Ooh, do not start packing up or I will hold us late. We got one more to look at.
What about 4?
Well, 2 won't work, 4 won't work. All right, let's go from my decimal to my percent. This, guys, if this chart helps you, draw this chart out on your scratch work. You don't have to make it this big. To go from a decimal percent, I'm going to the right. What's my percent going to be here? Wait, what's my percent going to be here, Maddie? 56%. Wait. What's my fraction going to be, Leah? Nope, not yet. Jesse? Not yet. What is my fraction going to be that I have to make it first? Annalise. 56 over 100. And then you can divide by 4 and get 14 over 25. All right, guys. Now y'all can have a good day.